To the map now in Hyattsville, Maryland, where supporters are demanding the freedom of a man the U.S. government mistakenly deported to El Salvador. The Trump administration claimed he was an MS-13 gang member, but in a CBS News exclusive, his wife says he is a husband and a father who was given protected immigration status in 2019. His lawyers are expected to appear in court sometime today. So let's bring in CBS News Justice reporter Jake Rosen. Jake, what are this man's attorneys expected to ask for at today's hearing?
That's right. This afternoon, attorneys for Kilmar Abrego Garcia, whose wife you just mentioned, he was a Maryland man who was in the country from El Salvador. Again, as you said, in immigration proceedings was found to be likely a member of MS-13. He was part of that tranche of flights, those 3 flights on March 15th, at the center of this back and forth between the Justice Department and Judge Boasberg as to why 2 of those planes didn't turn around. On the 3rd plane was Mr. Abrego Garcia, who was, as a result of a, quote, administrative error, sent to this supermax prison in El Salvador. His attorneys have argued in court filings that, regardless of whether he was sent by accident or on purpose by the administration, that there needs to be some kind of remedy here. They're asking for him to be returned back to the United States and to be freed from custody. The U.S. Justice Department in filings has said that there is no way that they can get him back because he's already in this supermax prison, and they claim that the Salvadoran government would not cooperate with them if they did ask for that, which, as we know, Mugo, the Salvadoran government, is doing all of this and taking these prisoners from the U.S. as a result of a deal that the Trump administration has struck with the president of El Salvador.
Right. They're getting paid to basically house those so-called gang members. Jake, the Trump administration is keeping its focus on MS-13. That's the notorious gang the U.S. has designated as a terrorist organization. But just a short time ago, U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi, she announced the arrest in Florida of 9 MS-13 gang members in connection to several cold case murders in Broward County. Here's what she had to say. We'll talk to you on the other side of this.
They're not just a street gang. They are a highly organized terrorist organization. They're bringing guns and especially violence to our country. And under Donald Trump's presidency, that has stopped.
So, Jake, what are your takeaways from what Attorney General Pam Bondi just said there?
Well, this has been part of the very, very visual and pronounced PR presence that the administration and the Justice Department have done around these arrests. We saw Attorney General Bondi do the same thing last week, about an hour from here in Virginia, where the administration claims to have arrested a top 3 ranking member of MS-13 operating in the United States. These 3 people that were arrested, their arrests were announced today for a cold case murder. This murder happened about 10 years ago. They were all loose and not in U.S. custody at all. It's really part of what the administration has claimed, and again with Tren de Aragua too, that there's an invasion, quote unquote, and to quote the president, of the U.S., and that they're doing stuff that the Biden administration was not. We do know, obviously, that the FBI and the Department of Justice under the Biden administration and all other previous administrations, including President Trump's first administration, were doing these arrests as well as they possibly can. Obviously, the Trump administration making a pronounced effort to get the Attorney General down to a place like Florida, where they have solved, at least for now, at least 1 cold case murder regarding this gang.
Okay, and Jake, I want to circle back to the deportation flights that we were just talking about. Just yesterday, a federal judge questioned government attorneys about why his order was not followed. He now says contempt proceedings are likely in the case. Could you break down what happened in that hearing yesterday and what could possibly come next?
Right. The top line is really here is that Judge Boasberg got a Department of Justice attorney to pencil in some more details about what exactly happened on March 15th when the Department of Justice and White House did not turn 2 planes around carrying those alleged Tren de Aragua gang members. The Department of Justice attorney said that he told 2 people at the Department of Homeland Security, 1 person at the Department of State, and 1 person in the Attorney General's office about this order to turn those planes around. Judge Boasberg seemed to imply in court that he's going to ask for depositions or potentially hearings with these people or their representatives to get to the bottom of then who those people told at the White House and who exactly in the government decided to not turn those planes around. Attorney General Pam Bondi said today she expects this case to go all the way to the Supreme Court. As we know, a circuit court here in D.C. sided with the plaintiffs in this case, saying that Judge Boasberg's order for now is constitutional and that further digging on the merits of the case need to be done. We'll see what happens. But Attorney General Bondi also defended the government, saying that they actually don't believe that they disobeyed the judge's order. That's exactly what the Department of Justice's argument was yesterday in court, that because these planes were out of U.S. airspace by the time Judge Boasberg's order to turn those planes around was officially sent and put into the record, that they were already out of U.S. custody, they were going to El Salvador, and there's nothing Boasberg could do then or can do now to get those people back.
Lots more to come out of this one. Jake Rosen, thank you so much for your time today.